Ladies.
Yes, this is a great table.
It is.
Ooh, and I've got my backpack says girl power, so we can change the world.
We are changing the world,
Not as fast as we'd like, but
but
it's
just
happening.
fast enough.
There you go.
So last season we saw her sister come back, but a different dimension. How is that? With everything that's happened, how are you both gonna feel about each other? So much has happened in different worlds.
So much has happened, and by the nature of alt selves, and you will understand this more and more as the third season unfolds, but ultimately she's the same, but she's not the same. So there's that really beautiful dance of familiarity and family and sisterhood, and equally that bizarre sort of glass wall between them. And that was a really interesting line to walk, certainly. But that whole aspect is really, I think, what allows Juliana to continue, because she has suddenly a very visceral understanding of what these all worlds mean and what the possibilities are, and the fact that this isn't the only reality. Trudy's the tangible proof of that. So, yeah.
Does she trust her completely? Like, does she believe that that's her sister? And is there a kind of there's a doubt in the relationship?
No, I don't think the doubt comes from trust. I think, if anything, the lack thereof, it's an understanding that it's not permanent. So there's always the sense of sort of that there's a longing and a temporary quality to it that makes it all the more beautiful, really, in a lot of ways. But it's also quite sad.
How does it really inspire her to see this Trudy who comes from the different world and knowing that there is change? And how does that change her path as resistance rises?
Well, that's the cool thing. When we were sort of exploring the notion of Abinson putting Trudy in front of her at the end of season 2, what that does for her is it really cracks open that part of her mind, that level of perception where she's able to really grasp what it means. Because I think it's all so abstract, that she's at the center of all these things, and Abinson's trying to explain to her that there's all these different realities, and if I were to explain that to anyone on the street, it would just be too abstract and eccentric to even wrap one's head around, So to be able to present her with human flesh and blood that is representative of that portal and everything beyond, I think it allowed her to take this path. Otherwise, I think it would be too big.
And there's a huge change for Helen as well. I mean, that sacrifice of Thomas was heartbreaking. What's next for Helen? What can she do, and what's next for Helen and John together?
One of the things, have you guys seen season 3 yet? Okay. One of the things about this season that breaks my heart is the deterioration of the relationship between the two of them, because they have been, their relationship has been such a touchstone and the center of their world and what they return to all the time. So as that is now broken because of this loss and because of what they are experiencing with his move up in the ranks of the Reich, it's been difficult to see these two people who loved each other so deeply and were willing to make this choice together because they loved each other so deeply, and it was so important to them to protect their family, to see that it has now cost them their child and the implications of that, and then of course what that means for their daughters now. So it's a tough season. It's a really it's tough to see these two people struggling as much as they do, and showing it in completely different ways.
What are fans telling you that they're relating to with the show? What are they connecting the most to? Is it these very human characters and stories in this big?
I think so. It's the I've had a lot of people reach out and talk about the love of these two people, and that they are the spine of things in many ways. That being said, there are a lot of people who reach out and they connect to things which I find really uncomfortable. A subservient wife and someone I've had some people talk about, well, it's good that she knows her place. And I would argue that that's actually not the case if you look at the behavior on the show. And I'm also not endorsing that necessarily as a choice.
It's amazing that somebody had the gall to say that.
It's amazing how many men have the gall to say that. It's quite staggering. That being said, we are changing hearts and minds.
Do you have anything to add about that too? What fans are telling you that they're tapping into?
I think these days it's all I've been hearing is when. When is it coming out? When am I going to see? I haven't heard anything about the show other than when. But I think the aspects of resistance really at right now. I think that's what I'm hearing. When people kind of delve into it, but I think that's also the nature of it.
And finding inspiration in the show. It's gotta feel good. Well, better
course
than
it
that
does.
gentleman that spoke to you and said
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
How much of the grand plan do you know when you're going through the scripts? Like, do you have an idea of more of the grand plan?
I mean, that's a moving target.
Yes and no, not at all. It's like
Yeah.
it depends. It really depends, and we've had, every season has been run in a very different fashion. We've had a very different timetable as far as when we get the scripts and how many we get at a time, or none at all in advance. It really depends. So I don't think there's any sort of clean way to answer that. Really, it depends on the day as well, because it's a constantly evolving, shifting, changing piece, and we're all really involved in that as well. So it's an interesting, very malleable process.
There has been some discussion, certainly since I've joined as a regular in the last 2 years, about where the storyline for the season has been shared with us in the writers' room at the beginning, which is lovely. We haven't always stuck to what the initial plan was because, as Alexa says, things change and evolve as we go along. But yeah, we've had different leadership every year, so it's been a completely different style each year as a result of that. All right.
So much.
Thank you very much. So looking forward to it.
Thank you.